One of the problems with having hormonal treatment, as with anything to do with prostate, even surgery, men become impotent and lose their sex drive. And for younger men, that can be quite an important facet as to whether they proceed with surgery or wait and see. And that is one of the things that men are offered now is, well, let's see how it progresses. One of the difficulties with prostate cancer, it can be slow growing and the man will never have any effects from it at all, or it could be what they call a tiger and could be quite angry quite quickly. And so urologists are of this balancing act as to whether give treatment immediately or wait and see whether it is really necessary. For me, because it had escaped from the prostate, surgery was not a viable proposition at all. So it's hormone treatment. Well, the worries I have is that although more drugs are available to me once my hormone stops working, I have had some of my colleagues have gone through to chemotherapy and some of the other drugs, and they've just not worked. In fact, 2 men died recently, and their chemotherapy was instrumental in them dying. It didn't cure them at all.
Wow, but just because it didn't work doesn't mean that it was instrumental in their deaths. Did you mean it just didn't halt the death?
It caused problems as a result of them having the chemotherapy. Alvin Stardust, the performer, died last November, I think it was last November, of prostate cancer. And his one aim was to tell men to get their number checked. That's their PSA number. And we as a charity, PCaSO, are giving giving them the opportunity to have a PSA test without having to go for their GP. Because once they know their number, they've got a baseline on which they can decide whether they have a problem with their prostate. The PSA is prostate-specific antigen. It's something given out by the prostate all the time, but it begins to rise in levels once there is an indication that there might be a problem with the prostate. Doesn't mean to say that a man has cancer. It could be an enlarged prostate, or it could be an infection. But it's the only test we have at the moment to find out if there is a problem with the prostate.
So for people wanting to do that through the charity, what do they need to do? How do they go about that?
We normally advertise when we're going to put on an event. It's normally at a church hall, and the various organisations help put it on for us, Lions and Masons. It's normally the wives who are more interested in taking our leaflets.